All right, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory, honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Harakakwadash. Double honors to the elders, the apostles of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations into the hopeful elect. Noise in his gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. It's the Akio Mahalaya coming back with another lesson through the Spirit called We Told You That FEMA Camps or concentration camps or quarantine camps were biblical. All right, this is an article from foxnews.com. My brother had did a video to it, and I kind of did a response. Well, this is my response to it. I'm gonna take it in a slightly different direction, but he posted a video clip of them basically going into quarantine zones of people who refuse to get tested and vaccinated. And we were saying that we were speaking on these things, and we were saying at the beginning of the year that it's gonna come to a point that things are gonna start becoming more draconian, so to speak, which goes into harsh or strict law. All right, because what they're doing now with the numbers, they're justifying the numbers. Like today at work, supervisor over the meeting gonna say it was a spike in numbers overnight. And if you wear your mask, make sure you wear it right over your nose. We kind of scoffed at him like, yeah, right. But this is basically mental conditioning to get people mentally acclimated to be ready to take up the mark of the beast, which is indeed the RFID chip. All right, so hey, brothers, man, hey, we in crunch time now. Time now to pick up the momentum. We in that last lap, pick up that momentum, and let's get this work in. Let's get it in while we can, because hey, at the end of the day, you want to be found worthy to stand before Yahweh Shai to say, look, I've done everything that was required of me. All right, I did my shows. I was going out to the camps. I was studying, praying, all those things. Being brotherly. All those things count as to your works. All right, so we want to make sure that we're pretty much straight across the board, so to speak. So Yahweh Shah can have mercy on us, because right now, we're entering some dark and some dangerous times, some perilous times, which it goes to perilous, goes into evil or dangerous. Okay, like tonight is election night, and I'm just sitting back to see how these riots and how people are gonna accept the greater of two evils between Trump and Biden. So either way it go, either one candidate win, all hell still can break loose, meaning the riots and people looting and vandalizing things. And so, we'll see. But anyway, it says Victor Davis Hanson laments New Zealand's COVID-19 quarantine camps as end of personal freedom. All right, and if you know New Zealand, they pretty much still follow Western democracy, because New Zealand is basically another part of Basel, which is part of the conglomerate of Esau Edom. All right, so you think of New Zealand, Austria, Australia, the UK, America, France, Luxembourg, all these particular Edomite branches, they're still pretty much following the same vote of democracy. And what you're seeing playing out in these different countries is basically a test study as to what's going to happen here in Babylon. All right, so it says Hoover Institution senior fellow Victor Davis Hanson condemned New Zealand's institution of coronavirus quarantine camps, which is the prison camps. All right, they can detain you against your free will. All right, meaning that habeas corpus goes out the window, your rights goes out the window, because technically in a state of emergency, the military are enacted for powers to be. So therefore, the Constitution is technically suspended right now. So if they wanted to roll up on you and say, look, we have suspect that you're an enemy of the state, or we suspect that you may be affected with a particular illness, then they can unlawfully detain you, but yet deem it lawful. That's why we tell them, brothers, man, you got to keep your heads up. You got to see, you got to pay attention, watch, and therefore pray. All right, but it says here, it says Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern of the center-left New Zealand Labour Party announced in a video that if people sent to the camp refused to be tested, they would be required to remain another 2 weeks after the initial 2-week stay. So that's a month. All right, so if you don't want to get tested, because first of all, test you once, or you go in there, for one thing, they quarantine you is 14 days. All right, that's pretty much 2 weeks. Then another 14 days, which is another 2 weeks, which is almost basically a month, give or take a day or two. All right, so basically, the more you refuse to get this particular test so they can boost their numbers, they could just detain you. You could be in there 3-4 months, man, before they decide to let you out of there. Because what happens is, if they feel like you're refusing, they're gonna put the squeeze on you. before you know it, they may give you food and water. Then after a while, they may stop taking the food from you. They may start just giving you water. The more you refuse, they may take the water away from you and just give you bread. And if you keep refusing, then after that, they may not give you shit and may just put you in a hole. Or they may come in there and just give you the needle, man. You know, it's no limits with this devil. It's no limits. This is why we telling brothers now, bro. Like, look, man, really consider what you in. You know, we talking to the men of Great Millstone and the men that follow the correct doctrine, because these other camps, these guys are gone. You know, they're not speaking on these things. They're not speaking on the FEMA camps and the martial law and the chip and the nuclear missiles. You know, but they're speaking on how to get Edomites to bow, how to get them to lick up the dust of thy foot. They out there so fascinated with trying to woo a crowd to the point they're missing the most important part of the ministry, which is the prophecy, according to Revelation 19 and 10. All right. And it says here, it says, Adorn called the warning a pretty good incentive to get tested for COVID-19. And really, that woman, man, she had a demonic spirit on her, man. And I'm going to play the video too. But it says, you either get your test done and make sure you are cleared, or we will keep you in a facility longer, she said. So I think most people will look at that and say, well, I'll take the test. Right, putting the squeeze. Hegelian dialectus. That's what Esau does. This is what he's doing. He's putting the squeeze on people. He's making people afraid with the numbers. You know, he's frightening people. The numbers are going up. All right, he's threatening people's freedoms to take away their jobs. The economy is on the brink of collapse. So we're right from the pinnacle of all hell breaking loose. All right. All hell can break loose tomorrow. All hell can break loose next month. All hell can break loose at the beginning of the year. But either way it go, all hell is indefinitely getting ready to break loose around the world. Not just America, but around the world. From Malaysia to, you know, parts of Japan and the UK. Out there in Nigeria, Jake out there going batshit crazy. I mean, they over there turning Nigeria upside down because they don't agree with the quarantine parameters. You know, because people know that is basically, they know it's a bunch of BS, you know. So it says here, it says Hansen told host Laura Ingraham that such draconian measures that Adorn's orders make no sense given how little the pandemic has affected the island nation. And right, they're talking about a 99% recovery rate from this. So why are you quarantining people? Why are you throwing people in FEMA camps? Why are you holding people against their will? Why are you trying to stick people with shit that's gonna kill them? You know, if this was just so freaking bad, you know. And it says, and they have a nation of 5 million people, Hansen explained, and they've only lost tragically. It says they've only lost tragically, but they lost 25 people. That's an astoundingly low number to throw away a personal freedom, right? But that's the whole NWO. That's what this is all about, bringing in a new system, which is called the Great Reset. Okay, to reset everything and to have a hierarchy that rules over the 99%. So if you're not part of that 1% governmental structure, then basically you're just going to be a slave unto the elites. And this is what this is all about. But it says here in the United States, whether it's California governor, it says Governor Newsom or Michelle Obama or Joe Biden, they all have said that this is the opportunity not to let go to waste. He added, that's right. But it says later in the segment, Ingram cited a German media report that European Parliament and European Commission is using China-made thermal images cameras, wow, in an effort to prevent the spread of the virus. It says, but noted that the company that makes the cameras is also accused of supplying technology used by Beijing to patrol and surveil Muslim internment camps in Xinjiang province. Okay, but are these the type of scenarios we are going to be facing under the Biden administration? And he said, yes, frightening, he responded. But yet, Jake, they're basically digging their own grave, all right? Even though Trump is no better than Biden, all right? You're not supposed to vote for any one of them because they're not your people. But what make you think you're getting better support when you vote for Creepy Joe? You know, you're not getting better support because honestly, you vote for him, you basically sleepwalking right into prison. And that's what you Jakes gonna find out, because 99.9% of these Jakes, they gonna go and vote for Biden tonight, man. All right, they gonna go down to them polls, and they gonna make a damn mockery of themselves, and they gonna go vote for this known fucking demon, you know. So anyway, I'm gonna play these videos too, man. I'm gonna go into a couple of precepts. Lord's will you be edified. These elites are demons, man.
It's time to take the burden off of working families.
It's time to make millionaires and billionaires pay their fair share.
It's time to vote yes for fairness.
It's time to vote yes.
So that's the problem with you niggas. You want fairness, man. You supposed to be want to be above the other nations.
What should be glaringly obvious as we enter this home stretch is Trump is leaving it all on the field. He's got it all covered. Energy, gusto. He's attracting crowds, the likes of which I've never seen in American politics. Not during Obama, not during Clinton, not during George W. Bush, not even during Ronald Reagan. Now, the reason is simple. The country we know and love is being threatened by the forces supporting Joe Biden. An unholy alliance has been formed between big business forces and the hard left. Now, in theory, the business community and radical progressives should be on opposite sides, right? But in fact, they found common cause in their joint hostility to the American middle class. Now, the president, as I said, was in Michigan today, and should Biden win, the automobile industry there will be flattened due to the terrible trade deals that encourage companies to move operations overseas.
Matter of fact, I'm going to go to another one because she's talking about politics and business. Let's go to the other video here. Let's go to this one.
Facilities to be tested.
Well, we held up New Zealand as the model for how to properly deal with a lot of things, including COVID. But anyone who loves freedom should take note, because the Kiwis have a terrifying new response to rising COVID case numbers. They're throwing people into quarantine camps.
If someone refuses in our facilities to be tested, they have to keep staying. So they won't be able to leave after 14 days. They have to stay on for another 14 days. So
you see what I'm saying? That's draconian right there. But let's ask this demon right here. Would she go in the FEMA camp? Does she have to get tested? Does she have to go in there for 14 days? Of course not. You see what I'm saying? This nation, you Edomites are a bunch of hypocrites. You are full of hypocrisy, man, because you do to others what you don't want done to yourselves. You know, and the people are going to buck up against that because people don't want to deal with that. You know, and this is why you're going to see a lot of tension come tonight. And from here on, you're going to have a lot of tension. But, hey, some men of the Lord, we're going to have to go through this. We don't know who, but some brothers are going to have to go through these particular scenarios, man. You know, we always speculated, and this is not doctrine or anything like that, but we always speculated that it be the men outside of the GMS. You know what I'm saying? Which that's not doctrine. Don't take it personal or don't take it verbatim. It just, because, you know, everybody had to be tried, you know. And I feel like the brothers that came in at the last minute, they going to have to put their work in by going through these situations, because you got to balance out the folly and the real deal, you know. So a lot of brothers that come in at the last minute, you may have to go through this, you know. But, hey, fret not, because, hey, this is your way of obtaining your crown, you know. And brothers in Great Millstone going to go through this. And really, these men in the other camps, they definitely going to go through this. But instead, the Lord ain't going to give them a crown of life because they didn't hold fast or keep patience of the Lord's word. All right, so this is Revelation 2:10. It says, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. But behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life." Okay? And the prisons is talking about these quarantine camps. Like we said in the scriptures, like we said in previous videos, we've been speaking on this from years to come. And look at it, it's coming to pass. But people still doubt the words that we're speaking as being of the Most High. But the Lord speaks through us. So we able to formulate, filter these particular lessons through the scriptures and pull out the scriptures and extrapolate very important information to show you what's happening in the world and show you right in the Bible. How hard is that? I mean, we breaking this shit down to you, but yet you still find fault with the men of the Lord. But it's spiritual, all right?
It's a pretty good incentive. You either get your tests done and make sure you're cleared, or we will keep you in a facility longer. So I think most people will look at that and say, I'll take the test.
No leaving the camp until you're negative. The left's other COVID role model, the EU, is taking equally drastic measures. They're requiring government officials to use thermal imaging cameras designed by a Chinese company, the same one that provides surveillance equipment to
Minority
the
Report, man. Hey, this prophecy, this is the Minority Report. basically Minority Report, basically it was like this algorithm that was in place that was able to tell if you was gonna do a crime before you did it. So if you was gonna commit a crime Friday and the day is Tuesday, they'll come and arrest your ass based on some shit you ain't even do yet. You be like, what the hell you arresting me for? I ain't finna go rob a bank. But yeah, they said, well, the report tells you that you're gonna go rob a bank Friday, and they'll lock your ass up. So this is a wicked ass system. This is a wicked evil system, and the Most High is getting ready to throw this. He's getting ready to flatten this bitch. You know, and hey, I hope I can't, man, this place needs to go, man. Seriously. You know, waking up in the morning, dealing with bullshit, working Esau's jobs, man, dealing with these rebellious ass jakes, you know, these crazy ass women, you know, these crazy Edomites, man. This shit gets mentally draining, you know, but hey, it's part of the hell we gotta catch. But nonetheless, that don't mean I like catching this shit. Don't mean it feels good, you know. But nonetheless, this is a society on its way out because the Most High is getting ready to do a strong intervention and lay this place desolate. So if we are the elect, we gonna be okay, brothers, and you gotta believe that. But for these people, these talking heads, man, these common folk out here, these people that's getting ready to go down to the polls and vote, these people gonna be in a world of hurt when the Lord really unleashes the gates of hell on this place. You know?
Camps that they call re-education camps for the Uyghur Muslims. Joining me now is Victor Davis Hanson, Hoover Institution Senior Fellow. Victor, are these the type of scenarios we're going to be facing under a Biden administration?
Yeah, it's frightening. I mean, here the virus started in China, it was spread from China, and now China is offering the West the methodology and technology of fascism to supposedly cure what they started. It reminds me of Crassus in Rome. You know, he had the private fire brigade. He pulled up when a fire was devouring a house, and he said, for a price, I'll be willing to put your fire out, but better yet, I'll buy it at rock bottom prices. That's what the Chinese, that whole technology and methodology, I guess, is seen in the West by. But it's also bizarre because we're not in an ascending pattern. We're having 1 million tests per day almost, so we're bound to have more cases, but the cases are mostly asymptomatic. They're more younger. The death rate is going back down. The therapeutics, medicines are improving. The vaccination is on the horizon. It's not the time to double down on this lockdown. And it begs the question, why are these people doing these things? And in the case of New Zealand, they have a nation of 5 million people. They've only lost.
Well, man, because you're dealing with a nation of evildoers, all right? He's evil, man. That's in his nature. He's Satan. This is what the devil does. Period. All right. So anyway, let's get that in Isaiah 10. This is the book of Isaiah 10 and 1. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees. That's these laws. And really what they're doing is under the color of law. It's not even really law. Like most state laws of what you call the code of or color of law, they're not really under law. That's why like child support cases, you don't have a remedy in state jurisdiction levels because you have to take it to a higher court. All right, because they're not really laws. They're under the color of law and they're easily to be disproven. All right, so what they're doing right now is technically it's not even really lawful. It's not, but hey, they got to the point that you docile folks out here and gave these people so much of your freedoms by accepting freedom that you believe to have, to the point they just snatched the freedoms right under your face. You know, all them little signatures you sign and you work these jobs and you put these people in office and you don't read the bold print. You know, y'all blatantly allow these people to take over your situation. But it was in the scriptures that this will happen. So, hey, we ain't against it. We actually for it because it forwards prophecy. You know, it just, if we of the elect, we gonna have a way out this shit. And that's brother's biggest concern. Am I of the elect? Because if you ain't of the elect, then shit, it's pretty much hopeless at this point. You know. But it says here in right grievousness which they have prescribed, and that's a grievous method. Having to be in prison because you refuse to allow somebody to stick something in your nose and possibly get you sick. Now you have to spend time in prison from that. You know, that's unrighteous. You know, because that's your body. Nobody has a right over your body. Nobody has a right to put nothing in you. All right. And it's the same way that they're going to do it with the chip. So if they getting people already mentally conditioned for this, then just imagine when the chip comes out what they're going to be doing. Because ultimately this is really programming and mental programming to get you ready for that mark of the beast, man. Because by the time you get whatever they gonna put in you, you already be docile to accepting this damn chip, man. You know. And it says here to turn aside the needy from judgment. The needy is you Israelites, to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey and that they may rob the fatherless, man. All right, because really, Jake is the primary recipient of this particular illness that's going around. You know, they saying that Jake is the face of it. First, it started in China. Now, all of a sudden, you Israelites, now you're the one. You're responsible for the outbreak. You're responsible for its spread to the different parts of the world, and you're the one who they feel that needs to be tested for this first. So, hey, just like in prison, a lot of them FEMA camps gonna be filled up with you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. You know, a lot of you women, you going to them camps. You know, you going. You men, you going. Your children, you're going. You know, you're gonna be in there all type. Christians gonna be in there, Muslims, atheists, all types of people. You're gonna have brothers in there. You know, but only thing that's gonna be different with the brothers gonna be praying for Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah to deliver them from said situations. And some brothers gonna do miracles in there. Some brothers gonna get spiritual power and get up out of there. Some other brothers gonna get rescued from other brothers with the spiritual power in there. So this most I can have this thing go anyway. But for you other people, you ain't got a chance on hell on making. All right, they gonna torture you in here, and they gonna do something very, very awful to you. All right. So this is the book of Ezekiel 33 and 33. It says, and when this come to pass, lo, it will come, then they should know that a prophet had been among them. And with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And with that, shalom and a ball. May the Lord be with us in these evil times. Shalom.
Going back down, the therapeutics, medicines are improving, the vaccination is on the horizon. It's not the time to double down on this lockdown, and it begs the question, why are these people doing these things? And in the case of New Zealand, they have a nation of 5 million people. They've only lost, tragically, but they've lost 25 people. That's an astounding low number to throw away personal freedom. And here in the United States, whether it's Gavin Newsom or Michelle Obama or Joe Biden, they've all said that this is an opportunity not to let it go to waste. As Hillary Clinton was explicit about it.
But Victor, I got to ask you.
Recalibrate things.
Yeah, speaking of that, but that's why these polls showing that Trump is behind in Michigan. Given what's at stake in Michigan, Victor, with future lockdowns, which they're coming, they're coming under Biden. They're setting the table for that if he wins. So they're going to lose their economy. The virus will still be there as it was in Europe after their lockdowns. So what do they get? They get a wrecked economy and COVID. So how would Michigan go along with this? In any resort?
They're not going to. I don't think they're going to go along with it. I think another element. This has always been a class issue, and Trump is finally doing a good job in emphasizing that. The people who are out there working and have small businesses and can't afford to avoid and do what I'm doing right now, telecommunicating, they don't have a choice, and they've been absolutely destroyed. And Amazon and Walmart and all these large conglomerates and people in the professions and insurance and law, high tech, they've done pretty well. And they're the people telling the rest of the country, you've got to lock down more, you've got to lose more money, we have to have zero chance that you're going to get infected. But these people, if they did that, all the people like us, where I am, in an isolated room, we wouldn't have anything to eat, we wouldn't have any fuel, we wouldn't have any electricity. So it's really a terrible thing. And we're not even talking, Laura, about all the people who have died from missed surgeries that you so eloquently had on your show, and spousal abuse, substance abuse. So it's really hitting the middle classes very hard. I don't think they're going to take it, especially when these elites keep telling us that there's opportunities to be had in this crisis. Not quite as crass as Jane Fonda that said, thank God for the COVID crisis, but something near that they can recalibrate American freedoms and manipulate the First Amendment under the guise that we're all going to die unless you let them take control of our lives.
Sorry, I jump in, Victor, but in Europe, and this is a real quick answer on your part, in Europe, when people are standing up against the lockdowns, they're sending people in to call them fascist. So the people who are for freedom are now being branded as fascist and dangerous, and they're being blamed and shamed. Does that sound familiar? Real quick.
Yeah, it does. You go out and break the quarantine, and you're either exempt or punished depending on your ideology and your political correctness. And that's what destroyed all confidence in the quarantine because it was unfairly applied according to politics, and it was bankrupt.
Yeah.
Europe's doing what we did. You're exactly right.
Shalom. I'm going to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh,